guess you go back to the last time you guys had a week off,
Mhm.
some momentum going into Creighton and they go so well. Have you noticed any differences just as far as the focus, attention to detail, effort, all that stuff
Yeah.
this week compared to the last time you were in this?
Yeah, 100%. I think the coaches emphasized like the last time we had a week off, we was more so focused on the other team and what they were doing and the games they had that week. And I think this week they took a step back and made sure we was able to focus on ourselves, and just shooting for perfection in every drill. That's 5-man weave, grabbing 2-hand rebounds, or in our split drill. Today was the first day we went over K-State stuff completely, you know what I mean? And there's no disrespect to K-State, it was just more so just us focusing on us,
Compared to last year, you personally have been more efficient shooting the ball. Just why do you think that is? Is there anything you can point your finger to?
If you want me to be honest, I think it's just more so my mentality. I think my belief in God and my relationship with Him has definitely helped me with that and just finding confidence in Him. And so I just do that, believe in Him. And I put a lot of work into this game. I really care about it a lot, man. And I just trying to allow my work to speak in the light of God. So.
What went into that mentality shift? Is there a moment that kind of clicked for you?
I think just trials, man. You don't really. If you take losses as losses and not learning opportunities, then you don't really grow. And I think that was just all the last year was exactly that, just from controlling my emotions standpoint to being a positive reinforcement guy on the team to being all those things just are results of just changing my viewpoint on things.
You've started before you've come off the bench. I mean, how have you just grown, I guess, too, and like accepting whatever role you have and just making the most of it as you've gone through your college career?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. Because it's so easy to get caught up in like, oh, who's starting or who's, you know what I mean? Oh, this the best five, this the next five. You're so easy to get caught in that. I think it's just more so controlling what I can control. I can't control whether I play 15 minutes or 35 minutes, but I control my input and my output on the court. And ultimately my effort, and I think just focusing on those things. Ultimately making shots too. I think you make shots, it makes it a little easier for you to be on the court,
How much did that help too with this team? Even though there's new pieces that you've had to gel with, a lot of guys played like you, like 4 or 5 years of college basketball. Does that help like with the process of understanding each other because you all have your experiences, even if they're in different places?
Yeah, I think basketball is the same everywhere you go, just in terms of like the core of the game and the basis of it. And we just got a lot of guys who know how to play the game of basketball. And we have a great coaching staff that helps us facilitate our actions, our defenses, and pulls things out of us, like certain gritty things out of us. And I think it's testament to the coaches allowing us to be leaders. Like everybody, to a degree, everybody at some point has been a leader to this year. And I think it's just a culmination of all that,
How do you think you've developed as a leader over this past year?
I think I've grown tremendously as a leader, man. Just I spoke about this earlier in preseason, like just having guys like Derek and Sam Griesel and Emmanuel, just watching those guys, just how they lead. And there's certain things that I didn't necessarily agree upon, or like just personality things that makes us different than each other. But I've learned a lot from those three guys, and just trying to implement the things I learned from them with this year's team. And again, ultimately, just back to the change of a mindset thing too.
What about Kansas State jumps out to you? You faced them.
Yeah.
This is your third time now.
Yeah.
It's a little different compared to previous years, but what are some of the challenges they present?
Transition and rebounding, that's been our big thing all year, but particularly with K-State, they get out fast. They got a few guys that can really fill it up. They're well coached. So I think we definitely have a challenge on hands, but I think we can compete with the best of them, And so I think it's just, again, I've said this to you a billion times already. It's just being consistent in our principles, in our disciplines, and just executing on both sides of the ball.
Second true road game of the year for you guys. What do you think you learned from, obviously, Minnesota to what you can take this Sunday?
I mean, obviously, Minnesota, we didn't put two halves together, you know. And I think that's just been our emphasis as well. Just, you know, going to somebody else's court and being consistent, you know, and whether that be the first half and whether that be in our defense. I mean, our defense has to be our anchor. Whether shots are going or not, that has to be a constant, our efforts on defense. And I think we just have to find consistency in that and not get too lax. I think sometimes we have a tendency to get too high, and then teams come back and rally back. Basketball's a game of runs, and I think we just got to fight through that adversity, you know.
Anything else for CJ?
Appreciate you guys, man. Yes, sir. You might need to get
You guys, we appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Just first of all, I just want to talk a little bit about CJ, and I'm very proud of CJ for getting his college degree. He's graduating. He finished up, and he's done an unbelievable job in the classroom. He's one of our best student athletes in the classroom, and going out there and getting his degree is a heck of an accomplishment. And just want to say how proud I am, and it's an awesome day for CJ and his family. He's going to wait and walk in the spring when his family can be here, but really cool that he got that degree yesterday.
How have you seen him, it's been 3 years now, how have you seen him grow over those 3 years?
Yeah, CJ's, one of the things that I'm really pleased with CJ is his leadership this year. And that was a big question coming into this season, is who was going to make up for Sam and Emmanuel and Derek. And CJ really has been the guy in the huddles that has been one of our vocal leaders. And that's huge in CJ's progression from when he got here to where he is today. The strides that he's made in that area, and he's just an awesome kid. He has really helped us win some games here, and it's just a matter of time, I think, before he has a game he makes 4 or 5, 6 threes. He's just shooting it that well in practice, and it's just a matter of time before that happens. But as far as leadership and going out there and being vocal day in and day out, he's been as consistent as anybody in that area.
How much has he played into the basketball acceptance and with playing all these different guys, different lines and whatnot? Just with him really not seeming to care whether he comes off the bench or starts and just maximizing his opportunities. And does he kind of set the tone for guys embracing that?
Yeah, he's played a lot of different roles since he's been here, and I think we've got 8 guys that are averaging over 18 minutes, and CJ is one of those. And whatever role, I look at the Wisconsin game last year where he had a good first half and he didn't play in the second half just based on the flow of the game, and he was the guy over there leading the cheer and jumping off the bench, running out and meeting the guys. He was great in the locker room. And he's done that exact same thing this year. It doesn't matter if he played, I think, 13 or 14 minutes in a game in Sioux Falls or 24 or 25. He's been the same guy this year in the locker room, and that's huge. When you have older veteran guys, especially that have been a part of this program as long as CJ has, it really does help set the tone.
What have you seen just from the team this week? I know the last time you had that full week, it didn't quite go as you wanted. Anything different?
Yeah, it's always a little bit of a difficult week. Maybe not as much as in the old days when you actually had to go to the class to take your finals, and you had different times, and really it was more small group workouts, or you had to practice at night. And you still have guys that have to finish strong, so it is a little bit of a stressful time of year. But I give our guys a lot of credit from last year, setting an all-time high in the spring with their GPA, and they're taking care of business again. This is the least amount of calls and text messages I've gotten from our academic advisor, from Dennis LeBlanc, who, believe me, he'll wear you out if your guys aren't doing what they're supposed to. He's been here for 40 years, and he does an unbelievable job of holding those guys accountable. And I don't know if I've gotten more than 2 or 3 text messages from him this year about our guys. So they've done a phenomenal job getting ready. But it's been a good week. It's something where we only took 1 day. We didn't have to take 2 days off this week. So we've been able to work and address some of the things that we still need to get better at. Obviously, we need to handle the road environment better. We did not do a very good job in the second half when the adversity hit us in Minnesota and just spiraled in the wrong direction. And just try to work on as many of those situations as you can. I played in this arena back in the old days, and it's a great venue with great fans, and it's going to be a great test for us. These guys are coming off, I think, their best performance of the season, winning by 15 at LSU, and it's a confident group that's got several guys back from that great season they had a year ago that made the Elite Eight. So, just looking forward to, having the opportunity and hopefully handle it better than we did in our first true road environment.
How is Josiah?
Josiah's good. He's back practicing. He was did most non-contact yesterday, but he got back into contact drills today. We'll see how he responds in the morning, but hopefully we'll have Joe without any restriction on Sunday.
That being said, have you made any final decisions on the starting lineup with Warren and Josiah?
Not yet. We got another couple days to figure that part out.
How important will it be to get into the free throw line? Both teams, in case they need it, pretty evenly matched as far as free throw shooting.
Yeah, it's one thing we take a lot of pride in on the defensive end is defending without fouling, and we've been one of the top teams in the country in that category. And for us, it's important, especially when you're going through droughts, to find a way to get to the line and then knock your free throws down. And it's on the road. They're a physical, very physical basketball team. They're 11th in the nation in offensive rebound percentage. They're very good at converting on the break when they turn you over. Those, to me, are the keys. You got to take care of the basketball. You got to get back in transition, and we got to finish off the possession with a rebound. We did a good job the other night against a physical Michigan State team, but K-State they've got more length and athleticism than anybody we've played this year with Kaluma Starting at the 3 at 6'8". We haven't seen a 3-man with that amount of size yet. And then obviously their bigs have great size and athleticism. So, get back in transition, have to take care of the ball, duplicate what we did the other night in the second half. We had 2 of them against Michigan State as opposed to 12 the game before in the second half against Minnesota, and that's going to be a huge key.
CJ mentioned that he noticed a bit of a difference just in the focus and intensity this week compared to the last week off. I guess have you felt the same way that their approach?
It's been there. You have to be able to bounce back and learn from wins, losses. I don't care. Anything that happens in the game, you got to be able to learn from it. And there's plenty of things that we saw in that Michigan State game that we need to grow and get better with. And our guys have bought into that. They've been great and attentive in the film sessions. And they've gone out and had good, hard physical practices. The first earlier in the week, we did a lot of skill work and we went back to some basics, just to make sure that that we're on point with those. And then the last couple of days, we've gotten it after it pretty good. It's all about carrying that over to the game again in a environment that's going to be as hostile as any that we play in all year. We just have to do a job of going out and playing with poise. I loved our poise late in the game against Michigan State, but we had our crowd behind us. We're 15. We're all we got. And we got to go out there and everybody pull together and be on the same page regardless of what's going on the floor.
What have you seen from Jamarcus just in how he studies that point guard position and how is he on schedule with what you kind of thought it would be for him this year?
Yeah, I mean, he had a 3 or 4 game stretch where he didn't have a turnover, and then Minnesota, obviously he had some struggles in that area. But the one thing about Jamarcus is he watches more film than anybody. We get a report every week on how much film our guys are watching on their own, and Jamarcus is always at the top of the list, studying how he can get better. He and I watch his individual clips after every game at his position. It's very important to see what he's doing well, and maybe when not to push as fast and get us into a set, make sure we're organized coming down the floor and executing, and that's all part of the growth process for Jamarcus in his switch in position and his switch in mindset. Overall, I'm pleased with Jamarcus. He's had the ball in his hands the majority of these games, and so far we're 8-2. So I've been pleased with Jamarcus. Now the challenge is going on the road and doing the same things that he did when we went on a nice little streak at home. So Sam, I thought, gave us some good minutes at that spot, and Bryce as well. Boogie's had a good week of practice. I've been really pleased with Boogie, and it's a matter of time before he gets back out there and gets another opportunity. But just went with those guys with the flow of the game the other day. But yeah, for the most part, I've been very pleased with Jamarcus. All right, thanks, guys.